Hi, I'm Tommy from Carrera Casting. In today's best practices, we're featuring machine maintenance and getting the most out of your 3D printers. In today's episode, we'll be covering pre-built prep for your 3D printer. The next most important thing is to make sure there's material in the tanks. A lot of people do not check the material manually. I have found that the calibration that this machine does to find out what the level of these of the support material and the build material is sometimes goes off. So it pays that once a week you check three things actually. One, is this cap on secure? This cap heats up. If this cap gets too loose, it would let the pressure out. This whole machine works on pressure, getting the liquid material through the build lines and through the jet. If there's a leak there, your machine won't work. You will rip this machine apart, and all it was a $5 cap. First thing I do is I open it, do a visual inspection inside. It's beautiful. It's nice and clean. I don't see no browning. I don't see no warping. This cap should be good, but we'll look at that later. The other thing I will tell you is make sure you have a schedule for changing the filters. These filters do clog, and if they clog, they do not send enough material to the jets. Your machine will stop or the build will be horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Carrera Casting uses these machines 24/7. So we have a schedule where we change our filters twice a month. That should be more than enough. Unless you see a problem that not enough material is coming out, 9 times out of 10, the biggest problems are loose caps and dirty filters, okay? So, how do we check to see there's enough material in? When you buy your machine, you are given these sticks. These sticks have notches right there, okay? These notches are there for a reason. They are to tell you how high the material in there should be, okay? So let me get it. Never ever use the same stick for both tanks. You will get into a severe problem. If you get build material into this support tank, it is a major project to get it cleaned out. So use 2 distinct sticks and use only one for support and one for build. Now, as you can see, I have it marked with the little blue material, so I know that's my build. My notch is here, so I know that this part's going down. You gently put it down. And you pull it up, try not to hit the sides. You wait because you got dripping there. You don't want to pull it out and then you get the drip on there. So get a Kim wipe and just go underneath. Okay? Now, as you could see, my notch has been covered. For me, this is slightly too much material. These machines are not like the old T66s where the more material you put, the better. These will clog. The way this machine works is different. The tanks are not so big and they use the same pump. So if this is overfilled, it clogs it. Like when you have a straw in a Coke bottle and you put your thumb on it and pull it out, it's clogged. That's what's going to happen here. So once you see that it's this far up, either drain it a little bit or wait until it goes down, but never fill it up more than this. If you see that half of the stick, half of the distance between the edge of the stick, and what you do is you peel it back like that. Make sure you have the bottom. If you have halfway, right about here or a quarter, you can add a stick. You're safe. So even if you have halfway, you will do an overnight build. You don't have to worry about that. But it's most important that you do not overfill these machines. Okay? Now, we'll clean this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screw on the cap. I'm not muscling it in, I'm just turning it. If I go back in 10 minutes after I've done everything else, you go back after you put your plate on, after you load it, and you check that cap again, and you can move it, it's time for a new cap. That means it's old, it's loose, it's not going to work, okay? We do the same thing for our support. I'll speed it up a little bit, okay? Again, I'm using a stick designated only for the support material. The notch is there. I'm putting it down. That is perfection. That's where you want it, especially if you're going to do a weekend build. Again, if this was halfway, you have enough to do an overnight build. But if it's like this, that's perfect. You have enough for a 56-hour build. I don't like to go past 58 hours. Some people like to do 70 hours. I don't recommend it because it loses calibration. But that's up to you. So for me, this is perfect. I'm doing it visible. Okay, here we go. You'll notice we have a little bit of material there. That means either my filter is getting old and starting to spit stuff up, or this top is getting old and it's from the heat, it's adhering to some of the material, some of the vapors that are in there. As a point of interest, in the other video I mentioned to you about spitting. This is what spitting would look like on your platform after you do your post-build inspection. So this is a good way to see. If you see that on your plate or you see it on your machine, you know that there's a jet problem. Okay, so this is good. All right, I'm just going to pull this up gently. Okay, this needs to be changed. You'll notice the darkening, that the material, which is supposed to be orangey red, has turned brown. And I can physically see the parts here. This is darker than here, okay? Especially on the top here. This needs to be changed. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you my method of changing this filter, okay? So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw away this cap. Okay, this cap is no good. I'm going to put it right into the garbage. Do not save it. Do not try to reuse it. It's not going to work. Make sure you have the correct cap. As you'll notice, there is a hexagon here because the material, the support material, is in a hexagon shape. So you know this is for the support tank. Okay, so we put that to the side right now. Okay, they come in boxes like this from Solidscape. There's your hexagon. Okay, you cannot use these filters for either or. It is only for support and only for build. We're going to open this up, and please be careful. You'll see that this is where it goes in. Okay? And in here is where it melts. And then when the pressure comes on, it pulls the material that's in here that we've put in there and melted. It pulls it through. This is the filter right here. This is the filter. It pulls it through here and cleans the material before it goes into your build line and then into your jet. So there's going to be material in here. Okay? Also, there's a reservoir on the bottom that has leached through here, and there's a reservoir on the bottom that has the material that actually gets cold for. So you're not going to be left without material if you take out your filter, okay? Be very careful. The material that's left in your filter is extremely hot. You will burn your hands. Now, a lot of people try to save what's in there. Do not do that. This is why I've come up with this method here at Carrera Casting in order to be safe and to do this as clean as possible, because if you try to pull this filter out of here and bring it over to put it into the garbage, you're going to drip material all over your machine. You do not want to do that, okay? So I'm going to put this back in here. Here it is. Get yourself a regular coffee cup. Paper coffee cup. That's what you need. And I'll show you why. What I'm going now, you can use the tools that Solidscape has given you to remove these, and you do not throw that tool out because sometimes these get jammed and you need that to crack it open to get it out. Now, be very careful. Only at the top you pull it out. If it's coming off easy, so much the better. You're going to pull this. Look how close I am. Okay, first thing, right over. So and it just dripped. You see it dripping? You do not want this on your machine. And you're going to see, here's my little particulate. This is what I didn't like. Little particulates here. And this is actually pretty clean, but because we use these machines so much at Carrera Casting, it's better that we put, error on the safe side and change these filters when we see something like that. And then you put it in here and throw it into the garbage. Now I'm going to do something just to show you what I mean about having material in there. Do not do this. You will burn your hands. So look how much has dripped in there. Imagine that was on your machine and now you got to scrape all that off. Or if it goes into the teeth of your belt, you're in trouble. Watch what's going to happen. Whoop, and I just burned my hand. There's openings here. There's openings here. Okay? So once it comes out from here, you just drop it in, straight into the garbage. It's done. Getting my Kim wipe, doing a general cleaning on the top, especially around my threads, that nothing has gotten there, because I don't want this freezing up on me, and I don't want to get some old material going right into there. Clean that, got it out. Clean that, okay. I'm not touching that. I don't want the oils of my hand touching that. And just perfect. If you think you have to smash it in, something is wrong. Don't do that. On the inside of here, in the back of the machine, there's a pressure hose that's attached to this tube where the filter goes into. I've devised a tool that looks like this, and this has support material on it telling me that this is only for the support tank. The distance between here and here is the length from the top of this screw to where that hole is. Now, if that hole is not clean, clogs up the whole system. So, you got to go in gently until you find that hole, and there it is. And it was a little clogged, so I was right to change this filter. Also, sometimes while you're pulling up the filter, the material will get in there. So it's good for you to clean it. Now look what's happened here. You'll notice again, I have support material telling me that this is for the support tank. Okay? I'm not forcing anything. In all electronics, in all machines, if you see you have to force something, stop. Something is wrong. Get a better inspection, get a better visual, see what's going on. So I just go in and out nice and gently. You see I'm not forcing anything. I go back, I pull it, and there it is. You see the little schmutz I got out of there? All right? So I know now that my pressure tube is not clogged. Now I can put back my filter. You should do this before you put the filter in. That would be the best way. All right, so I'll get this. I'll put this back in. Okay. Close it. Don't manhandle it. No tools. Just your hand. Clean. Clean. You cannot clean enough. You just can't clean enough. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. All right? Throw this out. Now, remember, more than 10 minutes ago, I put this cap on before. I'm going to check it to see if it's loose. I just moved this. This cap has to be replaced. Now, you'll go from experience, okay? Normally, I wouldn't change this, and I put it in a little loose just to show you what you would feel. This cap is actually okay, but because we've used it as a test, I'm going to throw this out. There's my new cap, and put it in. Now, if you see that you put it on, and you can actually turn it more than a quarter after about 10 to 20 minutes, then you know that this cap has heated too much, the rubber or the plastic has gotten too soft, it's time to change it. You will save yourself an enormous amount of headaches, an enormous amount of time. Now that's it. Sit back and relax. To do an overview of what we just spoke about, check your filters, check the level of your material, build and support, make sure everything again is clean, and you're ready to go. Hope you enjoyed this segment, and stay with us. There are more best practice videos in CAD and 3D printing for jewelry manufacturing to come.